if you find yourself your own job and you don't come back when we call you, that's voluntarily. That is, because I mean, you do raise an interesting point that, yeah, that I can imagine that data would cause problems for mental health. I hadn't really considered it because I have the luxury of not having to worry about that stuff just yet. Oh, a 25-bit. A regular tier 1 and an animated. Jeez. Huh. I didn't realize that we had... Don't let those numbers define you. Mouse is not liking me today for some reason. Yeah, how time flies, no kidding. If I remember correctly, go looking for it. So I haven't actually worked on, but I've given a lot of feedback and been part of studies with insulin pumps and continuous glucose monitors for the past 25 years. Has been a lot of development in recent years, aside from the continuous glucose monitor. And it's meant to be for sequel dev. Welcome in. How's it going? Great to see you. Thanks for the follow. But Nelson, without doxing yourself, you're just on the other side of the border from us, not terribly far, right? Yeah, Google's bought up and canned a lot. Yeah, basically it's them telling you, go sit on the couch, collect unemployment, we might call you. If we call you back within 35 weeks, no harm, no foul, we don't owe you anything. If we can't bring you back within 35 weeks, then we process normal layoffs with severance pay and all that kind of stuff. Back to any seniority, any like vacation day accruals, anything of that nature, that all still continues to count up, you know. But you have no paycheck. You generally will maintain some kind of benefits. You're eligible for unemployment insurance. Unceremoniously came down from on high and said, hey, the economy sucks right now. A lot of movie productions aren't going on. So we're laying off a third of this branch. And I was one of the names on the list. So went from... There's some really wild stuff going on in like bioinks and other stuff like that. There's some really wild pieces of that nature. Work for us, but like we're not going to pay you. And on one side, there are benefits to it, right? So if you actually, you know, want to wait it out, there are benefits because your employment is continuous. So with respect, apparently I've been really I've got 10 slots in animated and 5 in standard. I need to do some work apparently. Okay. Oh wow. All right. Well, let's click some old emotes that I had to disable because I didn't have open emote slots. Yeah, I guess we're coming up on my 3-year stream anniversary here, aren't we? That's coming up real fast. I think it's next week sometime, if I remember right. Might even be this week. Not sure. I think Twitch tells me if I do with that information what you will. Yeah. Like, why is he asking? I don't know. Yeah. No, that's why. Really do need to get myself a proper magnifier, though. My first paycheck got deposited, though, so I might actually spring for one. So right now, I'm just cleaning up the pins and taking a look at whether or not there are any shorts on our data pins here. Oh, we're coming up on 500 hours streamed as well. You know, I don't think either of us have ever been to Buffalo. I office and said, hey, temporary layoff. We might call you back within 35 weeks. You get your benefits, but that's all you get. Go away. Which, you know, not great. Not gonna pretend it was. And I say just yet because pretty much my entire family's diabetic, so, you know, it's coming for me. But so far, so good. I get tested every now and then. Haven't gotten tested for a while, but I get tested for it every now and then. So far, so good. A lot of, okay. So Carolyn is actually going to be going across the border for some Black Friday shopping with their mom at the end of the month. And I believe they're currently planning on going down to Buffalo. So, you know. Buffalo, Syracuse area is better than New York. I like the positivity that you just threw in there as well, of just like, yeah, don't... Not. Oh, that's super interesting. Whenever that gets published, I would, if you have the ability to, I would love to read that. I love reading the academic papers of the nerdy smart people in our community. 2 weeks out from selling our house, we were actually like packing boxes. We had a stager come in. We were getting ready to list the house. And then I came home. I went to work one day, and the middle afternoon, they called me at the office. I don't think I've been US side in Ontario yet. No, yes, I have. Just this summer, we did. Yeah, continuous glucose is super fantastic. Rather than, you know, turning your fingers to hamburger. Emotes. So, you know, felt really good about my chances of getting a job. What even is a temp layoff? Basically, it's them going, we want to lay you off. We want to have the opportunity to call you back, and we don't want to pay severance. So it's them basically saying, you still... Streamiversary is. Normally, it actually, like, gives you a whole thing about, like, hey, it's coming up. Maybe you should, like, you know, do a thing. I had 6 emote slots available. What? That stuff is so cool. There is... trying to find when my stream... Yeah, exactly, right? Like, not having to think about it is real nice. You know, I still... I thought you were aware. Yeah, no, Nelson, I got laid off from my old job. They